Good evening. The organizational meeting for Jones County Board of Education is called to order. We have a quorum present, and the first part of this meeting, the purpose is the election of board officers. The first order of business is the election of the chair. Just a reminder, nominations do not require a second. Do I hear a nomination for the office of board chair?
I'd like to nominate Myron Nettis.
We have a nomination for Myron Nettis to be the board chair. Do we have any other nominations?
Motion to close.
Hearing none, the nominations are closed. All those in favor of accepting the nomination of Mr. Meadows for board chair, please signify by saying aye. All right, congratulations, Mr. Meadows.
All right.
Named the board chair.
Okay. Do I hear nominations for the office of vice chair?
I nominate Mr. Shemar Brown.
Any other nominations?
Motion closed.
All those in favor of accepting the nomination of Mr. Brown for vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Shamar.
I'm sure congratulations are in order.
All right. We've already called to order our December 6th, 2021 Jones County Board of Education meeting. I would like to thank all the visitors, guests, and those watching virtually in attendance. Ms. Candace, we've already been told that there's a quorum present. Also present in the room is Superintendent Dr. Thigpen, Assistant Superintendent Mr. Markey, and Board Attorney Mr. Shaw. This time I'll ask all those to stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time I'll ask for the approval of the November 1st, November 8th, and November 22nd board meeting minutes.
I just had one note change on November 1st. On the seat for the Wellness Day. They got Mr. Y'all approved and made the motion, Larry seconded, but they don't have the vote on it. Which it was 5-0.
And I just wanted to add, I love the meeting minutes, but if there's like a 4-1 vote, can you maybe put that one, whoever that one dissenting vote is, so we can know. Does anybody want to go back and change the meeting minutes or just moving forward? It's up to y'all.
If there's something wrong, we need to change it. If there's nothing wrong, then we need to stand as it is. If you
I don't
say
think
there's
there's anything
something
wrong with it. I was just saying.
Yeah, just say that the vote need to be recorded, that's all. But he made a suggestion.
Yeah, just a suggestion moving
Future
forward.
reference is what you're saying. I'm good with that.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
With the
No
changes, with the noted changes?
Yes, please.
Let's see, y'all made a motion to approve with the noted changes. Mr. Walson seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Now we'll ask for the approval of the December 6th board agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Griffin approved. Mr. Brown second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Moving right into item 3A, our public comments. Have any?
Stephen Curry, automotive and teacher, football coach at Jones Senior High School.
Real quick, Steve. There is a 3-minute time on the first speaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just, again, briefly, high school, we kind of got together, filled out a thank you card to give to the board, so everybody can take that. But just as a thank you for the mental health day, for that Friday off that we received. A lot of us greatly appreciated it. So just small token of appreciation, really do appreciate every one of you guys for what you do, for helping us out, support, and stuff like that. And that mental health day was greatly appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
I knew you were gonna think she could talk more than 3 minutes. Is any other public comments? Okay. We'll move into item 4A, our budget report.
In your agenda, you should have had a budget report. It is for the expenses for December 2nd. You expect approval of the budget. We will have lots of amendments next month. And you guys approve. Beyond that, we're in line on spending. If you have some questions. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Keep it rolling with item 4B, our facilities report.
We have a copy that we've given to you to update you on the progress on the Jones County athletic field. You'll see it overviews what's been completed by the month end of November and what they're working on for December. Tim, anything you want to add?
We're reporting progress right now of, with Duke Energy out there. And we have to replace the power lines going into that field. And I spoke with Duke Energy this morning, what we're anticipating doing. And they, believe it or not, after about 4 hours of discussion, have agreed to do this as an upgrade on that field. But we're gonna take that old line that's coming in overhead out, put new transformers in for the new field, 480 field. We're gonna disconnect the track field, and we're gonna disconnect the football field, and we're gonna disconnect the concession stand temporarily. In order to get that line put in, all that stuff has to come back out. Because we can no longer mount a CP cabinet on a power pole that belongs to Duke Energy as we could in the past with CP&L, I'm gonna have to go in and build a new pedestal for the football field, which is due anyway, it needs replacing. So what I did is I did a stop order on the football field power lights. So as of tomorrow, those lights will be shut down, and I've got to build a new service and have a new service put in for the football fields and backfeed those lights, which need an upgrade anyway because the panel's antiquated. So that needs to be replaced, that's not a big deal. The other two, I've got to extend the power, underground power going from the track field, concession stand area, and the football field pedestal to the new poles that's going back in. And I've gotten a price on putting all the power feeds in conduit going to the new baseball, softball field. Unfortunately, that change order is about $9,000 due to the increase in PVC pipe. PVC pipe 4 months ago was $20 a stick, 10-foot stick, 4 inch. It's now $100. And they want it, so anyway, long story short, that does not have to be in conduit. That's a power company requirement to plow that line into the port of delivery. And I've told them to move forward. That's what we're going to do with that. It's going to be an underground service plowed in, and it's going to be a direct variable service. That'll be the only difference. So that's mostly the things in a nutshell that's going on with that project out there right now. There's a change order that we will discuss later that's an action item. And any questions on that stuff?
I do. How long do you anticipate that occurring? And the reason I ask that is those lights are used for safety issues and during basketball games, home games. Those lights are usually cut on for people going back and forth to the parking lot after games.
When I spoke with the coaches out there last week, and I'll give them a date for about 3 months, so that's gonna take.
I wonder, could we get access to some portable lights somewhere just for home games?
Doesn't the sheriff's office have some of those generator lights?
I know, yeah, the county has some. There'd just be a process of, you
Has it
know,
still been an issue out there since we got our new parking lot lights in?
I don't know, I've not been
See,
to a
let's-
home game
let's-
since.
Let's look at it, because last year,
Okay,
I went and added 2 LED lights on the front of the gym.
right,
To light that area better than what it is. When we upgraded that parking lot, we installed all new lighting that comes from the new school, in that
Okay.
parking lot area. Now, the reason that we did what you're talking about prior to that was because the parking lot lighting we had in place was not sufficient to light that parking lot.
okay,
It is motion censored, so those lights do come and go. They don't
Right.
stay on full time. But I think once those lights are on, you have sufficient lighting, and if it's not, then we can check with Tim Pike to see if we can borrow a
Yeah.
tower to put
Yes.
out there for certain locations.
well, maybe if Mr. Perry's there, he could make sure there's adequate lighting.
Well,
If he could do that for us.
Was the service that's in the parking lots where we upgraded, were they on the old school, on the new school? So it don't have anything to do with the,
Because absolutely, but the only power that's gonna get, and we've got to do this because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
required by power bill. The only thing that you lose power on is track field, tennis courts, and the football concession stand, and the football field lights. And that's temporary until we get that plowed in. And they're supposed to start work on that project next week.
Gotcha.
And I told them not to hold that baseball project up, to go ahead and plow that service in. The other secondary service can be plowed in, but we have to furnish the extensions. Due to the cost increase of materials and supplies, Duke Energy will no longer supply any of that material.
Right.
At one time in the past, it could, coerce them into doing that. But at this point in time, I stayed out there about 4 hours with the engineer the other day. And luckily, he did agree to build that service in at no charge. It has an upgrade due to the age of the services there. Normally, there would be a cost incurred for that as well. But we'll look at what you're talking
Thank
about
you.
and see. But that's been upgraded since that problem existed.
Okay,
And if need be, we can do what you're requesting.
Yeah. I knew we had used the tennis lights and the track, I think, were two, that were on at that time.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So
Any questions?
is the January the 5th date in the, month in review, is that now not, I guess? I mean, since you're saying it may start next,
January 21st.
there's a date up here that says the power will be completed by January the 5th.
By the upgrade I've done to that service, I'm hoping to stay on that timeline, because what they're doing is, they're working contract in to build that service and take those old poles out. We're gonna clean that area up, so we're doing. And the new service has to be put in on new poles anyway. So it may extend that timeline. Nothing we're doing, that football field, track field, is gonna affect that line or that power going to that. And I told that to the engineer, I said, do not hold this project up for that project over there, because they're unrelated, other than the simple fact I'm gonna use the same pole for transformer, and that's it. So they've been already given to go ahead and fly that line with that service. And we're supposed to shut all that down tomorrow to start that project.
Okay.
Any more questions?
If nobody has anything on Leadville, is there any other facilities, in the county that,
We're looking at upgrading heating systems right now, and I'm getting prices. But nothing definite right now. I'm in the process of getting estimates in place and getting some plans drawn up. But as far as our facilities, we're in pretty good shape right now.
which ones, which systems?
We had, where our last boiler system is located in Maysville Elementary School, and original school that built 1971. That's a Waters air hot water system. And I had the engineers in, for a contractor in working with Mitsubishi engineers on putting in the city multi-system section right there. And you can actually do the phases, and we're working on that at this point in time, to put the tonnage and heat load, and then they're supposed to get back on price. I'm changing over. And the only reason I looked at that particular system, I don't know if anybody's aware, but that's a system's been installed in your courthouse down there, same thing installed in there. Is we have sufficient power in the whole part of the building to run that system. If we go to a conventional system that requires heat strips, then it's going to require an upgraded service going in that building. So if we stay with the Mitsubishi City multi-system, does not require heat strips. It will heat down without using heat strips to -70 degrees outside. And it's very efficient because it's covered with technology. I'm not going to go too long about that. It's a new, it's really efficient right now. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Item 4C, Superintendent's update on strategic plan, academics, and COVID.
Board members, I want to give you a quick update on what's going on academic progress-wise. There's 4 big things that we're using as tools for improvement. We've got instructional coaches working with our teachers. We've began to work with our professional learning communities on improving the use of them to improve instruction with support from our central office. And then the big thing that we've invested in is the mediation specialist in each of our buildings to help those students that are struggling. And so I just wanted to make you aware of those 4 big efforts that we're making instructionally. We've seen positive progress to date with that, and we continue to work, in that effort to have as good results as we can, and we're optimistic that things are going to go well with that. I also wanted to mention to you the strategic planning effort with Leslie Eason has gone well. We have spent about 2 days at the central office working on our strategic plan. On the dates listed there, and I will forward this PowerPoint to you so you will have it. We will go out to the schools and we will have meetings with parents, staff, and involve them in the strategic planning process. And so those are the dates and times that a team from the central office will go out and present, and we want parents, community members, as well as staff involved. Each principal is gathering the constituents for their respective schools as we move forward with that. So that is going well, and we anticipate having that together by March, April. We should have all that put together. An update as far as COVID goes, I had last week was pretty similar to the previous weeks. We had 5 quarantines and 1 positive case, which is very similar to the weeks that we've had prior to last week. And so we've not seen an uptick since going to mask optional. I want you to know that. I know Danielle also talked with the ABC Science Collaborative. They're continuing to allow us to use tests to stay if we have a positive case identified. So that's a good thing and will help us keep kids in the classroom. So I wanted to make you aware of that. Also wanted to, I hope to have the first of the year, if I could sit down with each of the board members, at some point, just to get an update from y'all about any ideas you have or concerns you have or things you would like to see. I was going to let Candace contact you beginning in January to find a convenient time to do so. I also want to share with you, we're working with the leader and me about the leadership building that and our young people. I wanted to show you some examples of, from our classrooms where we've had our first grade, second, and third grade classes. They have mission statements created in their classroom as part of what they're doing. And you can see where they've said the one to the furthest right, the fifth grade will be hardworking, cooperative role models showing leadership while learning. And it's a mission statement that, each one in the classroom has signed off it. So we're beginning to see some products from our involvement with Leader in Me and the 7 Habits. And there's an example of a first grade mission statement. Superintendents had a winter conference last week and Bill Daggett spoke. He spent a lot of time talking about innovation and how technology was automating a lot of things. But Dr. Daggett recommended, what he was recommending to superintendents was that the technology and automation of things can't take care of the people skills needed to deal with people and collaborate and work. And those are the things that they're beginning to focus on: communication, collaboration, empathy, time management, things like that, which is in line with the things that we're doing with Leader in Me. And so I will forward this to you for you to look at, but we've made some great progress. I also wanted to give, that's another example of them using the See-Do-Get model to kind of reformat some things. At the bottom right, you see some of the videos that they watch each day. They're just examples of some of the things we're doing. I also wanted to highlight Mr. Marquis and some of the work he's doing. There's a breakdown of the racial and ethnic demographics of the educators. And if you look at the counties there, you will see Jones County is in the top spot as far as employing minority educators. There's no county that's doing better than we're doing with that. So you'll be able to look at that further, and I think Bryce will speak to that a little bit later as well. But we were, that was some data shared throughout the Southeast, and so we were glad to see that. We know we try to make an effort in that area, and so that's good. We continue to try to promote the district. There's also some work being done on our HR page for future employment purposes that Bryce has worked with Apogee as far as doing that. He's also, I don't know if any of you've heard the radio ads that have been going on, but they've been very positive. We've got Education Week coming out next week to do an article on our telemedicine program. So I wanted you to know about those things, and things are progressing and going well, and we're proud of the work that we're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Any comments on the superintendent update code? Okay. Moving to our action items, 5A, the approval of the fall PLS updates, the second reading.
Good evening, board. On November 1st, the fall PLS updates were presented to you for the first reading. At this time, we are requesting a second reading for approval of the fall PLS updates.
And there were no changes from the last. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Y'all made a motion to approve. Mr. Brown, second. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All opposed, say no.
Thank you, Bryce.
Appreciate it, Bryce. Action item 5B, whether to maintain or amend the Board of Education current face covering policy. Any discussion or leave it as is?
Do we have to make a motion?
There's currently not a
we're supposed to be doing every 30 days, isn't it? So if we don't do it now, then we'll have to come back earlier now.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and do it now.
I'll make a motion to leave it as is.
Motion by Mr. Griffin to leave the face mask optional. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Fee. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0.
I do have one question for you. When you were given the COVID update, was the day any different than last week?
No, I checked before I came in.
I didn't know, because I mean, now we're like 10 days out, or 10 days out from Thanksgiving. I figured we're gonna see if things would be now, by now.
I check it every day at lunch. So if I-
But it was like nothing alarming today. I mean, I know it went through Friday, so I'm sorry. Yeah.
Action item 5C, the athletic field change order.
Athletic field change order number 9. Believe it or not, this is one that I have requested. If you can believe that.
If we don't believe
Is this coming out of your budget?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with
it.
that. But, let me explain to you what this is about, and hopefully you'll be able to understand it. Whenever this plans were designed, the dugouts were designed with open ceiling joists. So you have 2x8s that are open. And once I started looking at that and the other areas we got around, we really have a real problem, insect building nests, walls, that sort of thing. So I went to Dennis McFerrier, job site superintendent, and I asked him to give me a price on changing that. Just take vinyl and put vinyl under all that stuff, so that it's encapsulated, so we don't have an open area for stuff to gather in. So when you walk in, it's gonna be a sleek finish instead of the 2x8s that are exposed and that channels. And they actually agreed to do it at the cost of material, if you can believe that. So the increase on this change order is actually what the cost of material was, and it's committed. It's a price of $1,850 to do that. And that location will be in the concession stand area outside. It will be in the dugouts as well. So if we got exposed to nature, it will now be encapsulated if you approve this change order with vinyl to match the sign.
This is for everything underneath, not just the eave route, it's the whole.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order.
That's a good price. Mr. Griffin made a motion to approve, Mr. Brown second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, motion carries 5-0.
And just to add to that, there is a change order number 8 in the process. This has absolutely nothing to price increase. This is a price decrease. And what that entails is, since we supply all the paper products for restrooms, dispensers, and we use a certain product, I've gone back and asked them to take that out. With the exception of, they've already designed trash cans, block walls. So when he done the change order, he kind of missed that, so I told him to hold off on that change order, that we'll approve it at a later date, because he needs to add those cans back in, that they'll have to be mounted in the block walls. But as far as soap dispensers, paper towel dispensers, tissue dispensers, and that sort of thing, we'll furnish all that, so it'll come off of the original bid, and that's what change order number 8 will be about when we finally get it out. So if you're wondering why we jumped from 7 to 9, that's right.
Appreciate it, Tim. Item 5D, the Maysville property.
Okay.
Gotta do it.
Bear with me as I go through this, and I'm gonna try to explain to you what I've done for you to look at. And hopefully when I get finished, it'll make some sense to it. Our board attorney received a letter from Ms. Doris Freeman requesting to purchase a piece of property that's adjacent to her property over there. And it involves what we believe to be an encroachment. And that piece of property is located from First Street and Maple Street. If you look at this diagram here, and it has her name on the back sheet, that gives you an idea of where her house is located. And this property surrounding that, which is labeled 285, is actually school property. And this property has been dormant since the late 50s. It was actually the site of existing school at one time, and it was done away with. The property remained in the Board of Education's name since then, and the house has been built. And she does own the 150 by 50 foot lot that she's on. But we tried to determine it anyway. She made an offer on that property of $800. And with that being said, Colin had contacted me and we talked about what fair market value would be and how the property would be disposed of. And we would really like to do everything we could to help Ms. Freeman with this issue. And there's nothing I would want better. But to try to determine the cost of that property over there, the next three sheets you have in front of you, notice on the bottom left corner, it says top. And this is what I've done to try to determine, to give you an idea of what market value may be. And I absolutely have no extra on land cost, lot cost, or labor. So what I did is I went to the tax record and pulled similar lots that surrounded that area and what the tax value was for those lots on the side. My understanding of Ms. Freeman's size she's looking at, if you look, is a total of 7,500 square feet, which is the same dimensions as her lot. So what I did is I went through and pulled that lot size, and I pulled stuff that didn't have buildings on it, so I tried to stay as close as I could. With that being said, that property could average, now remember this, the property that we're looking at selling her has no improvements on it. So there's no water, there's not sewer. So the lots I looked at, some of them do have water, some have sewer, some have utilities. So it's an improved lot. But it seemed like the average of that lot would run from $8,000 to $11,000 if you look at that. And I'd be remiss not to advise y'all this because you're looking at selling this property. But I want to step further and I look at the tax value and what it would be on that piece of property that we have that belongs to the school system. And no one's done anything with since 1958. And probably we have no reason to do anything with it in the future, I'm aware of. But I just crunched some numbers on that. That lot's worth about 17,600. It's 2.87 acres. And I took the 2.87 acres and converted it to square feet, divided it by what the tax assessed value is on it. And I come up with about 17, 18 cents a square foot. So about 1 minute, 7,500 times that number is around $1,200, $1,250. And I feel like that would be the fair market value for that piece of property that she wishes to purchase from the school. And I think once that encroachment is taken care of, then we could probably dispose of the rest of the property easier than what we could with that problem that needs to be cleared up before we do. And I know I've thrown a lot of y'all to consider at one time. And I am no expert on how to dispose of that property. Mr. Shy has wrote a letter of resolution that you will now see in front of you. If you look right here on this copy, you'll see a letter of resolution. And in that resolution, it kind of gives you an idea of what you need to go through to allow that piece of property. And I am no legal expert on any legal. So any legality, any legal questions, I would like to defer that to Mr. Shy to answer for you. But after reading the resolution, my understanding is we still need to advertise that property before we can release it. We can entertain her offer, but we would still have to advertise that piece of property for sale before you can sell it. I'll ask Mr. Shy to expand on that for you.
So the way that upset bid process works is you would by resolution accept $800 offer, and then it would be publicized, and anybody would have 10 days to make a higher offer on it. But you would need to find that the $800 is fair market value for the property offered. It sounds like Mr. Morton saying it's probably a little closer to 1,100 or 1,200 if you were, to do the math. I guess one question is, I mean, is $1,100 or $1,200 value reduced given the fact that we know there's a driveway running through it right now and that,
I think it is, and believe me, my whole intent of this property over there is to put it back in the tax group where it should be in 1960. It's not to make money off that piece of property. It's not to create a hardship for the people that live on that piece of property. What I would like to see happen is let's move forward, disposing of that piece of property. It become viable to the community again, and you're back in the tax stream and produce revenue for this county rather than sit dormant for another 60 years.
Well, I feel like $800 is more than fair for that piece of property, so I'll make a motion, we do this resolution. But what's gonna happen, we have to cut it out, and who's gonna have to do the title and the deed and all that, is that in here?
Yeah, so this provides that, Ms. Freeman's agreed to pay all real estate closing costs, revenue stamps, and expenses related to purchase.
I'll make a motion, we go ahead with this resolution to get it out of the way.
Just 1 minute. Were you saying the fair market value was, I should say 17,000?
No,
No, sir.
for the whole
Where am I
property,
missing that?
That total piece of
the whole
property,
piece.
if you look at.
The whole piece.
The whole piece. is
Gotcha,
$1.8
you're good. You're good. Okay.
And all we're cutting out is about almost, maybe, it's not quite a third of that.
We're good.
7,500 square feet.
Okay.
I'll second the motion. I'll second Billy's motion.
Billy made a motion to accept resolution. Mr. Walston seconded. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay.
So you don't want to be a math teacher? Or you're right in the middle
I'll be glad when we get rid of all of this.
Yeah.
It's like 9-10 months on this piece of property. How much more, Mr. Attorney, are we gonna have to go through before we can get rid of this headache?
Can I emphasize it, wait 10 days?
But then we got to do something with the rest of it.
Tell them it'll take 9 months for each piece.
It took 50 years to get here.
Yeah.
It took 50 years to get here.
Same year you was born.
They don't remember that. do they?
Yes, there was actually two parts of it. This really needs to be cleared up before we can actually move forward. So, the disposal on those, because the county's already did taking the property back, we can advertise it still in this, once this is cleared up.
Yeah, that's what I think we need to do to heck with it. We'll come to that.
You can tell me you've been here the longest, we're tired of hearing about it. Very good, everybody.
All right. This time I'll entertain a motion to go into executive closed session for personnel reasons. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-31811, A 1, 3, and 6.
So moved.
Are there any student issues that need to discuss in closed session or is it only personnel?
Personnel.
Okay.
Personnel. Okay. Motion by Mr. Griffin,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Walsh. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Merry Christmas. You ain't coming back. You're not gonna come back, are you?
Thanks, everybody.